Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Introduce my name Yulianti. I will talk about colloid. Let's talk about colloid. We'll look at some key properties and common example. A colloid is a type of mixture that falls somewhere between a homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. So, first of a touch of review and types of mixtures. Here, homogeneous mixture. This is more commonly called a solution. An example is sugar dissolved in water. In a solution, the dissolved particles are very tiny. They may be atoms, ions, or small molecules, and they spread out evenly, giving solution a uniform appearance. A solution looks like one substance, and it doesn't separate out or settle out over time. On the other hand, in a heterogeneous mixture, the parts don't dissolve. Here is sand and water. You can see the distinct parts here. Now, if you stir things up, the different substances may hang in the water for a moment. They make what called a suspension, but the parts always settle back out again. And the particles here are relatively big. You can see them. So a colloid falls somewhere between a solution and a heterogeneous suspension. We'll use an example to make this clear. We'll look at water in the air. Air is a homogeneous mixture of gases. They're mostly nitrogen and oxygen, but they're pretty much always so water molecules mix into molecules are too tiny to see. But we can zoom in. Here a water. Because air is a homogeneous mixture, the parts don't settle. These molecules can float around bumping into each other, but they never settle out. Now, sometimes we get so much water in the air that it makes raindrops, and they are so large that they do settle up. The air cannot support them, so gravity pulls them down. This is like how other heterogeneous mixtures settle out over time, but there are in between. Sometimes there's just enough water in the air that tiny droplets form. Although these droplets are bigger than molecules, they are too small to settle. They just can't float there, but they are big enough to start reflecting light, just like this. So you can see this. When this happens, you get something called fog, and fog is a colloid. It is made of very tiny drops of water dispersed or spread out in the air. So, so that we what we mean when we say that colloid falls between homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. The particles have a size that is in between or intermediate like a homogeneous mixture. Fog stays suspended. It doesn't settle out. But like a heterogeneous mixture, the particles are visible. You can see them. So let's talk about the part of a colloid. Colloids always have two main parts. We call these parts phases. In fog, they tiny droplets of water or one phase in the air is another phase. They are technical terms from these two phases. The dispersed substance and dispersion medium is fog. The water droplet in the dispersed substance and air is The dispersion medium. The dispersed substance spread out and can unfold in the dispersion medium. Now, there are different types of colloid. This depends on what the dispersion medium is and what the dispersed substance. When you have liquid dispersed in a gas like fog, you have a type of colloid called an aerosol. You may have heard that word before. Maybe with like an aerosol spray can seem a fog. Liquid is a dispersed substance and air is the dispersion medium. Another type of colloid is smoke like fog. The dispersion medium is air, but with smoke, the dispersion substance is a solid, tiny piece of burned wood or rubber paper. These types of colloid is also called an aerosol solid dispersed in gas. We can build kind of a table where here for the different types of colloids. We have talked about two types of aerosol: liquid dispersing gas stuff like fog, means difference disinfect spray, and then solid dispersing gas. Example are smoke as well as dust in the air. We'll look at a few more types of colloid. Here is foam, a colloid where a gas is dispersed in a liquid medium. Think of whipping cream. If we look at this foam very closely, we see tiny air bubble dispersed through liquid cream. We'll add foam to our list of colloid. Gas in liquid shaving cream is another example of a foam, and foam can also be made by disperse a gas through a solid. That's how marshmallows are made.